Hey everybody, it's Jackson Lamb. You know, in my last video, I was talking about how I'm amending the soil. Well, you know, I thought I'd do a little deep dive into what that means. That's composting. You know, we started taking a look at everything I was putting in the garbage can, which then goes, picked up by the garbage truck, which goes to the landfill. And I'm thinking maybe I can do something better than this. You know, the city of Denver has a program where they'll accept all biodegradable waste, and that is plate scrapings. That is, of course, all vegetable matter, but they'll take all your leaves and all that kind of stuff, but they charge you for that. It's going to be, I think it's $29 a month. So I thought, well, how do I get started here at home? And I figured, well, why don't I just start by making a pile of stuff? So I start putting together lettuce leaves and banana skins and orange skins, onions. And I figured, well, wait a second. I need a better system than this. So this was what I came up with. You know, this is just a large plastic tub, but it's covered. And so all of a sudden, I was starting to notice fruit flies. I'm thinking, oh, they're trying to eat away at whatever fruit is in here, bananas and oranges, as I mentioned, apples, apple cores, all that stuff was in there. So the first thing I realized was, okay, let's get a bucket like this. Let's put a lid on it, all right? And then as we fill this up, we can take it outside to our compost bin, compost pile. I hadn't gotten that far yet. So as we put this together, what you'll see here, this is that's banana skins. I chop everything up. If it's going to deteriorate, let's give it a little help. All right. So I break everything down. I've got eggshells in here and all that. So I start figuring, wait a second. I had one of those composting things. It never did work. And I started reading about it, did a lot of Google internet searches. And well, the thing that you'll all find when you do the research on this is that to have a successful compost pile, you need a combination of greens and browns. Now, I've heard that before, and I didn't know what it meant. And so as a result, I've never had good compost before. When we're talking about greens and browns, the greens, that's the stuff coming out of the kitchen. That's the stuff that was green 3 days ago. And when they're talking about browns, the ideal thing is dried leaves, the kind that we rake up in the fall. In fact, what I did last year was I raked up some leaves and got rid of them, but I saved 2 bags of leaves. I put them behind the shed, and I use those in the spring to start my compost pile. So that's what they mean when they say get a combination of browns and greens. Well, anyway, I figured I need to make a container, and I've seen a couple of types of homemade containers where you use milk crates. And I figured, well, milk crates, that's not a bad idea, but I quickly realized that, let's go back to my deal here. You know, on the weekend, I was filling this up 4 times, thinking I need a lot of space. So here's what I came up with. This is one of those rubber totes that you see at the store, all right? But I drilled it full of holes, okay? And on the bottom, I've drilled it full of holes again. And so all of a sudden, this is where I'm starting to put, I started in this, okay? And so with a layer of browns on the bottom and then a whole bunch of greens here, well, then I needed more browns, so I put more browns in here. Then I needed more, and I was full. Thinking, whoa, how is this going to work, you know? Oh, it's going to decompose. It's going to take 9 months. So I'm thinking, I've got to rethink this whole deal. Anyway, let's take a look at what we have in here. Look at this. These are all my browns. I outgrew this container, and so now I use this as I'm cleaning up around the yard. If there's a bunch of leaves under the bushes, they go in here. It's my brown stash. I have graduated to an oversized garbage can that I drilled full of holes. Come on, check this out. typical garbage can from Ace Hardware. It's a 30-gallon can. Same idea here. I went through and I drilled this full of holes so that basically so the bugs can come and go. That's what's really happening here. We're getting little creatures, things I can't even see, and they're in there trying to eat those apple skins and those banana skins, and then they like to have that brown stuff in there. It's all a big, beautiful thing. I'll show you what this looks like. There we go. So as you take a look at that, my camera's drifting away. Come back, come back. So what is in there? I'll stand here and I'll tell you. There's eggshells, banana peels, coffee grounds. All the coffee grounds go in there. I have yard waste. We've been cleaning up the yard. Yard waste is in there. I've got onion skins. I've got ends of asparagus. I've got ends of broccoli. I've got old salad nubs, all that kind of stuff that can be broken down. So the other issue is we need a little moisture in there to help things decompose. So that's kind of what we're doing here at the Lamb household in my little urban farm. So we were talking about amending the soil. This is how we do it. And you can do it on your own. You probably have things around your house that you could utilize so that you can make one yourself. Jackson Lamb signing off.